Welcome to the Payments Podcast. I'm your host, Bottomline Managing Editor Owen McDonald. Sibos, among the industry's most anticipated annual events, is fast approaching. As we would expect, given this time of change, organizers at Swift chose a profound theme this year: the next frontiers of global finance. It's ambitious, it's forward-looking. Talk will turn to maximizing the ISO 20022 opportunity, to drivers for achieving the G20 cross-border payment targets for 2027, the endless quest to mitigate fraud, and of course, real-time payments. Fortunately, here at the Payments Podcast, we've got a guy. It's our pleasure to welcome back Vitus Rotzer, Head of Financial Messaging at Bottomline. He'll be sharing his insights on some panel discussions at Sibos 2025 in Frankfurt. We're lucky enough to have him give us a special preview of what will be trending at that event. Vitus Rotzer, welcome back to the Payments Podcast.
Thank you, Owen.
Let's begin. One could say the main backdrop of Sibos 2025 is the ISO 20022 cutover in November. That gives us a new global standard for financial messaging. But how are banks and financial institutions balancing innovation with compliance? There's tension. There's regulatory mandates. There's the issue of global adoption. And Vitus, you told me the deadline is, quote, just the beginning of the beginning. So what's your assessment of this situation?
Yes, you're right. So the ISO 20022 cutover for November is for Swift payment messages, is a landmark moment, clearly. We have gone through 2 years of cohabitation period, and we need to switch. Nevertheless, it's only the beginning, because if you look at it from a technical point of view, it's good, but there is much more to be done if you want to exploit the data end to end and get the benefit of this new format. So if you take a payment reconciliation, for instance, a corporate receiving a cross-border payment today might struggle to match it to an invoice due to limited remittance data. With an ISO 20022, richer structured data travels with the payment. This will enable straight-through processing and reducing manual intervention. But you have to exploit that. You have to integrate it. It's not a given. It needs to work with all your different systems. It's not just a compliance, it's also efficiency, cost saving, and better customer experience. So richer structured data also enables improving sanction screening and fraud detection, for instance. Provided you integrate the newest format seamlessly in your ecosystem, of course. So yes, the deadline is the beginning of the beginning. The institution that treat ISO 20022 as the foundation for the transformation across their end-to-end business flow, not just as a technical format checkbox, will be the ones shaping the future of payment and financial messaging.
Now, moving on, the G20 has set ambitious goals for improving cross-border payments, chiefly speed, cost, access, and transparency. That will be on the Sibos agenda this year. Vitus, where do you see the industry making the most progress with G20 goals, and where do the biggest gaps remain?
The G20's goals, speed, cost, access, transparency, will reshape the cross-border payment landscape. I will say we have seen real progress in speed and transparency, especially initiatives like Swift GPI and now also Swift case management, as well as regional instant payment scheme connecting across borders. Payment that used to take days now settle much quicker, and tracking tools give both banks and corporate visibility that they never had before. To illustrate this, Swift says that 90% of international payment now reach the beneficiary bank in under 1 hour, which is great. But to the downside, cost and access remain the biggest gap. Many corridors are still expensive, especially for SMEs and emerging markets, and access to modern payment rail is uneven. For example, if you take a multinational in Switzerland, they might enjoy seamless euro-dollar transaction, while a supplier, for instance, in sub-Saharan Africa, still faces high fee and limited infrastructure. So closing the gap will require more collaboration between central banks, regulator, and private players, and a willingness to rethink the business model. The technology is there, no doubt, Now it's about scaling and inclusivity.
Rethink the model. Sounds important. Here's another model. Pre-verification of payment details is gaining traction as a way to reduce errors and fraud. What are the key benefits and challenges of implementing pre-verification at scale, Vitus? What are Sibos attendees going there to find out about pre-verification? And quite frankly, are they looking to partner to get there faster?
Clearly, this will certainly be a big topic. This will address or is addressing two persistent pain points, error and fraud. Validating an account information before a payment is initiated can significantly reduce failed transaction, costly investigation, and reputational risks. The benefits are very clear. Fewer return, faster settlement, and greater trust in payment process. Take a corporate sending high-volume payroll payment can pre-verify all beneficiaries to avoid any delay and ensure employees are paid on time. That's operational efficiency and employee satisfaction in one move. The challenge is scale. So we have COP, confirmation of payee in the UK. We're soon going to have VOP, verification payee in Europe. Many specific countries' initiatives. All this doesn't work with the same format, different jurisdiction, different standards, different technology, different private regulation rules. So it's very hard to implement a universal solution. That's why at Sibos 2025, I believe a lot of visitors will go and search for a global solution covering everything. Will be difficult that interoperate with all the schemes. I will just finish by saying it's not just about technology, because technology is there, but it will be about trust, coverage, and also collaboration at the end.
Another big topic for Sibos this year, Vitus, is real-time payments. How are real-time payments reshaping the expectations of global banking customers, and what challenges do banks face in meeting those expectations? I'm asking primarily about infrastructure, customer experience, and the pressure to modernize legacy systems. How do you see this playing out near term?
So real-time payments fundamentally shift the customer expectation. It's true. However, we see low adoption rate across the board, from consumer, from corporate, and from an infrastructure deployment perspective. If you think about SWIFT stating that 90% of all the transactions are performed now in less than 1 hour, I think it raises even the bar. So 2026, the expectation is not just about speed, but it's about full end-to-end certainty and enriched data. The challenge for bank is the infrastructure, clearly. Many are still operating with legacy systems that were not built to 24/7. You need to check fraud in real time. You need to check the position and the liquidity of an account in real time. And you need to process the payment in less than 10 seconds. This informing your online banking tool that the customer sees the money coming. So this is a huge challenge that necessitates a lot of transformation within bank. It's definitely an expectation, especially for corporate, to better manage liquidity, to better manage also their supply chain, their FX exposure and everything, but it's slow adoption. Modernization is no longer optional. It will come. Everybody says it. It will come. Banks need to invest in cloud-native platform, API connectivity, smarter orchestration layer outside of their current core banking solution. At Sibos 2025, the conversation will certainly be about how to scale these upgrades sustainably and how to partner, whether with fintech, PSPs, or infrastructure payment connectivity provider, to meet this rising expectation without compromising security and compliance.
I see. So it's definitely a collaborative effort there in the truest sense.
Definitely.
I could talk to you for an hour, but this is my last question, Vitus. Operational resilience is now a regulatory and strategic priority. It's a major topic for Sibos attendees. Vitus, what does resilience look like in the context of business payments, financial messaging, payments infrastructure, and banking connectivity?
This last one is certainly at the heart of a lot of concerns today. And I think operational resilience is no longer just a regulatory checkbox. It's a strategic imperative. In the context of payment infrastructure and financial messaging, the resilience means ensuring continuity, security, and adaptability across every layer of your connectivity. So it's about being able to absorb shocks, whether cyber attacks, that we speak a lot today, system outage, we can think about power outage and things like that, geopolitical disruption, and we have enough bad examples today in the world, without compromising services and trust. A top use case will be a failover between messaging channels. So a bank, for instance, that will implement dual routing across SWIFT or other network. If one channel experiences latency or downtime, payment can be rerouted, ensuring uninterrupted services. That's resilience in action. At Sibos, attendees are focused on how to build this kind of robustness through cloud migration, smarter orchestration, and strategic partnership. Outsourcing to a trusted solution provider is increasingly seen as a key enabler. It will allow the institution to accelerate resilience, reduce operational risk, and focus their internal resource on strategic growth rather than technical firefighting. Moreover, it will help banks and corporates to respond faster to market infrastructure and regulatory changes. We just talked about a few of them before, while significantly lowering certification and audit costs. Leveraging economy of skills and scale, the institution can stay ahead of regulatory demand and customer expectation without having to build everything in-house. So I will just conclude by resilience is not just about surviving disruption. It's about being ready to operate, adapt, and innovate through it.
Well said. For some, Sibos 2025 will always be remembered in a where were you when kind of way, falling as it does so close to the milestone ISO 20022 deadline. It marks the dawn of a new era of better financial messaging to power B2B payments and experiences securely. It's momentous. Thanks again to a fantastic guest, Vitus Rotzer, head of financial messaging at Bottomline. To our audience, the smartest people in B2B payments, thanks for listening. Hit subscribe. Catch us again on your favorite podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Bye for now.